gave a TEDx speech like this. I lost my cue cards right before they announced my name. My friends ran through 2 floors below searching for it, and the entire crew was panicking because this was not staged. Turns out, it was right next to me, all along. So if I look calm and composed right now, it is because that didn't happen this time. Instead, before I walked onto the stage, my friends wished me good luck. They held my hand and said, "Just think of them as pineapples. You can do it." It was a silly sentence and an encouraging gesture, but it meant the world to me. And such moments is what real connection looks like. Not Wi-Fi, but people connecting emotionally and physically. If you think about it, we live in the most connected era in human history. You can find out about the missiles hitting Dubai, to the number of pizzas being ordered at the Pentagon, or the latest war Donald Trump has instigated. We can talk to people across the world in seconds, text them instantly, and keep up with hundreds of lives through a screen. At competitions, we exchange Instagram IDs like business cards. And yet, anxiety, loneliness, comparison, and depression keep rising. So here is a paradox I want to explore. If everything connects, why do so many of us feel so disconnected? I once made a friend on social media. Let's call her Jane. We met through my best friend, and we seemed to connect almost instantly. So we shared very similar interests, like an obsession with the Vampire Diaries, a love for music by Montel Fish and The Weeknd, and a craze for traveling. But thinking back, I realized that didn't really reveal anything about her actual character or how she treated others. And that made me realize something very important. Social media can help us make new connections, but the version we see online often hides their true characteristics. My teacher once explained that humans are social animals, and an 80-year-long Harvard study by the Harvard Study of Adult Development stated that in the current age, loneliness is as deadly as smoking 15 cigarettes per day or alcohol abuse. And that makes sense because society is built on mutual trust, relationships, and interconnectedness. No matter how independent we try to be, we still need others, we still need connection, and we still need constant support to succeed. And that is why loneliness hits so hard. It's not about just being alone, it's about feeling unheard in a room full of people. So this taught me that loneliness is no longer a luxury. Connection is no longer a luxury. It is a necessity for human survival. In my opinion, I feel like opinions are what connect us so much. People who have similar ideologies belong in particular in-groups that promote them, and people with opposing philosophies belong in out-groups. And these groups are slowly merging into one independent and unified thought. And this is because of mob mentality. Now you might say, well, that's awesome. Everyone is so connected because they think in the same way. But that is the problem. Everyone is thinking in the same way, and social media can make us feel like belonging means thinking in the same way. But that is dangerous, because it becomes easy for us to copy the same trends, the same filters, the same slang, until we start behaving and thinking that's shaped more by social pressure than by choice. Our technological devices are psychologically powerful. They don't only change what we do, they change how we see the world. For example, when we text on Instagram, we can edit, delete, and redesign ourselves, or more specifically, the narrative we provide to the world. And we forget that in real life, there's no backspace, which is a bit uncomfortable because some of us need that. But in real life and real conversations, every word is what shapes your authenticity. And so the filter between the mind and the mouth dims, and while that discomfort is our personality, it is now viewed as a flaw. But then again, all I've said now will seem useless with the next example I provide. You see, in the next unit, our teacher taught us about social facilitation. So this is a phenomenon which observed that people feel more energetic, more motivated, and more active when they are around others. Or as they explained it, it's easier to complete an assignment in a group than individually. But the truth is, a lot of us don't even step outside to experience this phenomenon. We need to step out of our comfort zones and safely challenge our boundaries to make new connections, whether online or offline. You see, I used to post Instagram reels and highlights that I genuinely loved and spent a lot of time creating. But over time, I realized the impact of social media on my life, and I uninstalled Instagram. Hours of doom scrolling and obsessing over posts were replaced with a sort of quiet silence and comfort within me. Unfortunately, that didn't last very long. Soon, everyone around me in class was singing the same trending song or doing some viral dance. Everyone is laughing or relating to this situation, and I'm just there like, what's happening? So this taught me that connection is not only about being updated on the latest trends or brain rot memes, but it's about feeling included and feeling a sense of belonging. So I have a new question. Are we actually building real relationships or just following societal boundaries to make sure that the mask we present is accepted by all? Connection online serves a very important function too. It keeps threads from snapping and it reminds others that they matter across time and distance. For example, my grandma and her friends, high school friends, meet once every few months. That is because they're connected across platforms like WhatsApp and Facebook, and it's lovely to see their reunion. And this reminds us that some connections don't fade or disappear just because a lot of time has passed. Here's another example. My friend's dad had to move abroad for a while for work, and to stay updated on each other's lives, they played what they call the update game. So in this game, they send live photos of their work instantly. For example, she used to send photos of her Secret Santa gifts she got, or birthday party celebrations, and selfies of her preparing for her exams. He used to send photos of his new office, or sunrise photos from his morning walks. And this was their way of saying, I'm still here, I remember you. And that is beautiful, because it let love travel the long distance, but incomplete. A message cannot carry the tremble in her voice from the stress of her upcoming exams. And a photo cannot replace the quiet comfort and contentment when they cook together. And this relates to the Goldilocks zone, but of connection. You see, people want each other close, but not too close. Online communication gives us that perfect distance control. We decide when to reply, what to reply, and which emotion to display. And in this way, we feel socially satiated without the risk. Recently, I reunited with my best friend after 3 long years. We'd spoken constantly over the phone, a minimum of 3 times per week. So when we finally met, I thought I'd be excited, surprised, elated. Instead, I felt ordinary. We already knew each other's daily routines, lives, updates, and opinions. This was just a physical reunion, not a mental one. And in this way, online and the social media had kept technology and our connection alive, but it reduced the thrill of discovery. So, back to the main motion at hand. Where does it all connect? Not in the cloud, but in the cottage. A home filled with relatives and our loved ones instead of video calls and phone calls. Because if we want a future that is truly connected, we must choose presence over performance and depth over tapping away on our phones. So the real question is, if I took your phone away right now, which you're filming me with, would you still remain connected to the people you think you love? Thank you.